Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here today with someone who's familiar with to you all because we've interviewed him before, Steve Odell, who's the Senior Vice President and Chief Sales Officer for Regent Seven Seas Cruises. Now, Regent Seven Seas just introduced all of their new itineraries for 2026 to 27, and we thought we'd take this chance to talk with Steve about what's new, what's different, and there's a lot in terms of what they're going to be doing. It seems like it's pretty far away, but you can already book these. So let's talk a little bit about that with Steve, and you're going to find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Steve, great to see you again, and I guess I'll see you in a few weeks too, because we'll be doing some conferences together. But first of all, how many new itineraries will you feature in 2026, 27, and what regions will they go to?
Well, the opening of sales is tomorrow, so we're all very excited about that and geared up for that. But we're launching 173 new itineraries tomorrow, new voyages, going right the way through until May 2027.
So
You know,
this may appear a little later. So what's the exact date you're launching those itineraries?
tomorrow, 24 July.
24th of
24,
July. Okay, so by the
yeah,
time you see this,
yeah.
you got to go and book them because
You've got to get out.
get out there and do it. So that's
Yeah,
great. Now let's talk
yeah,
about, can you highlight some of these new sailings? And you're going to have them in all of the regions and the ships. You got Africa and Arabia, Alaska, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, South Pacific,
yeah.
Canada and New England, Caribbean and Panama Canal, Mediterranean, Northern Europe, and South America. I think I got them all. I don't know, but boy, you're everywhere, right?
Pretty much all around the globe. That's right. Yeah. Well, it's a whole year of new itineraries. Not forgetting, of course, that we're fully on sale and promoting 25 as well. But there are regular guests and new cruisers that are looking for different things, and so we get out early always. Pushing the booking cycle out further because there is demand for new things, and also regulars want to make sure that they get their best suites, the suites that they're familiar with. So there's a lot of regular routes here. We're adding new ports, but Alaska, the Mediterranean, particularly are core to our program, of course, and the Caribbean. But we are adding some new things in Asia and in Africa. We've got a new cruise off the African coast that goes to the Seychelles, also goes to Madagascar, which will be very exciting. Anything new like that gets a big demand. We're also very focused on Asia. As you know, we've been doing that in the past, but we've got 7 Japan voyages, for example, in this program
Mm-hmm.
that's being launched. They're always really popular. They always sell out early. And it's great to see that part of the world in comfort and convenience. It's such a different culture, and the language can sometimes be a barrier. But when you go to that destination in the comfort of an ultra luxury cruise ship, you certainly get to see the best of it. So that's a very big focus for us. And then the other big trending destination is Iceland. So we have 4 Iceland cruises in the new program as well,
Yeah, that's
and
great.
they're
I
sure to
love
book.
Iceland, and it sounds like you got a lot of new stuff going there.
Yes, we have. So there is a South America, and there's what I would call a comfortable way to see the Antarctic Peninsula. We go into the top of the Antarctic Peninsula, and we do sail by, of course, because we're not expedition equipped. But I think there's a lot of people that would like to go and see that and do it the comfortable way. So there's a lot of different choices, and we try to change it up every year, and find new places to go as well.
No, and also as always, you're visiting Alaska, which is, I know you do a great job up in
Yeah,
Alaska, and then I
yeah.
think you got more cruises in the Mediterranean than ever before, which is
Well,
always
that's the
popular.
core. Yeah, that's the core popular destination for our travelers. So we do a lot. We do a lot there, using all the hallmark ports, but trying to get to some of the smaller ports as well. So there's a lot of choice. And Northern Europe is also trending very well these days. We don't have St. Petersburg as a port option anymore, but we've really focused on the alternative, the other ports in that region. So we're in Warnemünde. We take the guests to Berlin, Stockholm, Helsinki. We've got a lot of overnight stops, so guests can really explore the Northern Europe destination by seeing more across several days. So yeah, very exciting program that's ahead.
Now you even have some transoceanic voyages. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yes, they're increasingly popular. Of course, I think when people come to the cruise segment the first time, they like to see as many ports and as many countries as they can in a cruise. But the regulars, of course, really love the sea days, and on the transoceanics, we have a really good mix of ports and sea days. So there are 7 transoceanic cruises in the new program
Wow.
on the ships, and we really try to focus on giving people the good mix of destination and relaxing. And of course, those cruises get a lot of enrichment as well. So we do a lot of enrichment lectures, but I think people just like to chill and
Yeah.
enjoy the ship and not worry about getting up every morning to do something. These are days when you can really truly relax on board.
Now you also have, as you always have, you have a world cruise, and then this one is going to be wow, 140 nights if you do the whole thing. Where will that go, and on what ship is that? Are you doing that cruise on?
So it's this time it's on the Splendor. So it's a circumnavigation of the globe, of course. Um, it's possible to do Miami to New York as the whole thing. That's 160 days, or there's a 140-day option where you end in
Okay.
Europe. So it's very popular. It's been on sale for a while anyway, because we always launch World Cruise before the main launch. So that it's 2027, and we have to remember we've got 2025 and 2026 World Cruise in between. But there are a lot of our regular guests that are booking them back to back to back because they just love being away for that long in the comfort of our ships. But it's a big change for us in 27 because it's one of the Explorer class ships. It's the
Right.
Seven Seas Splendor, which is raising the game of World Cruise entirely. Twice as many big suites, for example, but there is availability still for that World Cruise, but generally the top end of the ship sells out very fast at the beginning. Of course, because it's 3 years away, you do get movement. So we're running wait lists for some of the big suites,
Mhm.
but there is still the ability to book that. The lead-in price for that is around $91,000 per person for 140 nights. I mean, it's incredible value for money if you look at
Sure.
it on a per nightly basis, considering all the excursions. So it's a great way to get away from the winter and get into the sunshine and see the globe.
No, and you always do such fantastic world cruises, so I think people are going to look forward to that
Yeah.
one. Now beyond the world cruise, you also have your sort of 4 new you're calling grand voyages, and these are between 60 and 82 nights, I believe. And where will those grand voyages go, the new ones, and on what ships are they on?
Well, we each year we'll do 4 grand voyages. I mean, there are guests who regularly book those as well. Maybe they don't want to be on a whole 140 days, but they can do something long that's exciting and different destinations. So we've got 4 choices. We've got the Grand Arctic Voyage, which leaves every year from New York. This one ends in Barcelona, and it's 81 nights. And you'll go up into Greenland, Iceland, and then it'll cover some of the British Isles and Northern Europe before going down into the Med. I had the pleasure of hosting the party in New York this year at the Mandarin Oriental before the cruise sailed, and
Not a
there
bad
were
way, not a bad party to host, right?
it was a good party to have, overlooking Central Park, and really excited guests. Those guests at that party, the guests that were assembled had 39,000 nights of Regent between them. So they
Wow.
were really really loyal crowd, and
They,
it
they
was a
they can
fun.
probably tell both of us a little bit about Regent.
I think they could. Yeah, yeah. And they've just been in. They're coming. Sort of they're in the third part of the last third of the cruise now, and we just took them all to an incredible special event at the ABBA Museum in Stockholm.
Wow.
So what we try to do during these grand voyages is surprise people with different things. So that was a very well received night. And then we've got the very popular Asia long voyage, grand voyage, which is next year from Tokyo to Sydney in October, 60 nights. And that's on the Seven Seas Explorer. So
Mm.
beautiful way to see Asia. It's heavily port intensive on Japan at the beginning. And then we take the guests down through Hong Kong, Vietnam, through Southeast Asia, and then across the top of Australia down the east coast to Sydney. So it's a really
Wow. That's a
beautiful
great
way
cruise
to
too.
see. Yeah, that unpack once, and you really see a lot in that period of time. And then we have a new concept. It's called the Grand Continental Grand Voyage, and it's from Barcelona to Sydney. It's 82 nights, and that's in November, 9th of November on the Navigator. So this is, another great way to, travel between the continents. Like I think there are people that, maybe they want to fly, they don't want to fly as far, but they can go in the comfort of the ship.
Mm.
So, and the Navigator is a beautiful ship to do it on. And then finally, we have an Indian Ocean long voyage from Cape Town to Barcelona, which is 61 nights. So it's a very popular kind of voyage that we operate every year. These four, and they have loyal following. But we get a lot of new to brand guests coming on these as well because they're seeing so much of the world on their travels in
Mhm.
these and it's the unpacking once, as I said, and then you travel in comfort. You're living in this beautiful luxury hotel, and we roll out the destinations one after the other.
No, absolutely. It's, I mean, but it's like four world cruises essentially, but it's on all
Yeah,
different regions. That's how you
yeah,
have a world cruise, but you have these grand voyages as well.
that's it. Yeah,
Now, what are some of the new ways Regent's going to explore the world in 2026, 27? I know you're looking at doing things like you're going to new sailing to Alaska, let's say from Seattle. You're
yeah,
sailing the Caribbean from
yeah.
Galveston, which I was surprised, and Tampa, which is I think new
Yeah.
for you, right?
Yeah, we've decided to include some more North America departing ports. We have very strong markets in Texas and in Florida and in the Northwest. So we're basing the Mariner in Seattle. There are a couple of voyages up there. One is round trip into Alaska from Seattle, and the other one is an open jaw.
Mhm.
And then we're using Tampa with the Mariner as well. These are Caribbean cruises obviously leaving from the west coast of Florida, where we have a very big core market. We're sort of targeting the local resident community, our big core local markets. And, of course, Texas is huge. So
Mhm.
Galveston is going to be an interesting drive to market to join the Splendor. So, they're getting the beautiful Splendor there. And there are two round trip cruises and two open jaws to Miami.
Mhm.
So I think it's also about attracting new guests as well as the regulars who perhaps live in those areas. But getting new guests where it's an easy to travel to destination, I think, is part of the strategy there. And we do that a lot with our sister brands. We have home based ships in those ports with our sister brands. So
I know you
this is
have Norwegian has it there, and I
yeah.
definitely they go out of Galveston and those ports as well. But
And
uh,
Seattle is a big port for us as with the other two brands with Oceana and Regent. So we're going to put our toe in the water with those, and we're very confident they're going to be good sellers.
no, that's great. Now beyond that, you also are doing some more port intensive and more immersive
Yeah.
voyages. Tell us a little bit about some of those itineraries.
Yeah, I know we spoke about that the last time we chatted on in our interview, and we launched seven of those in the current season for 24 and 25. They've been very popular, and so we've launched eight more in the new season launch. And the concept here is really to give people more time and focus in the ports of call. So instead of having a 10-day cruise with 7 or 8 ports, we have a 10-day cruise with 4 ports, and each port you go to, you spend an overnight.
Mhm.
So you not only get 2 days of shore excursions, and of course the shore excursions are all included, but you also get an overnight stop. And that could be something as simple as going on an evening tour, driving around the city and looking at the light, the
Mhm.
illuminated buildings and the lights. Or it could be doing something like go to a top restaurant and have a local dining experience and wine experience. So we're offering evening shore excursions, as well as the choice of getting 2 daytime full days of touring. Um, and I think there are a lot of people who like to freewheel a bit, and particularly for in ports where you're close to the city where you can walk. So this is also a great opportunity for people who want to do their own thing
Sure.
and go out and soak up the local culture and not have to rush back to the ship because it's sailing that evening. These have proven to be really, really popular. So now we have 8 more. They're all in Europe
Yeah.
and they're on different ships of the fleet, but they've proven to be a very popular new direction. So we're doing more with that.
Yeah, in fact, I think you have almost 144 overnights for that
Yeah.
season for 26,
Yes.
27,
Yeah.
which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot of I think this for the luxury traveler, this is really, really important. And we try to. I think it really enriches the content of a cruise when you have an overnight. So we've got lots. We've got them in big cities like Hong Kong,
Mhm.
but also in more peaceful places like Bora Bora, where you're not rushing to do things and getting back to the ship because it's leaving. You can take a more leisurely
Well, I
approach.
know a pretty good bar in Bora Bora I could spend some time in over the overnight, so that's pretty good. But
Yeah.
and, I mean, I know a lot of bars in Hong Kong too, but I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's a great different ways to go do an overnight in not just the big cities is pretty interesting as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the other thing is you have a new slate of what you're called, Regent Choice excursions. I know you have a
Mm.
lot of included excursions, Shorex, in what you offer, but now you have the sort of this extra thing. What are some of these new Regent Choice excursions?
Well, I mean, these are really giving people probably a more bespoke look at a destination. I mean, there, of course, we always with our tours we always limit the size of people in the coaches that we use for the complimentary excursions. But there are some people who like a more in like a smaller group or a more bespoke experience. So a lot of that is around, food and museums
Mhm.
and giving people a more intensive look at the place they're visiting. So we're doing those, pretty much across the whole program, and they're always a choice in these. So there's the free included excursions, but we also have these ones where you would pay, a premium to go, maybe in a car or in a small van. So we're finding that there is demand for that. A lot of people still like to do their own thing,
Sure,
I'm particularly in the Mediterranean. And particularly if you've been to a port before, but we're trying to give people more choice within the excursions.
sure.
It's a hallmark of our product to have included excursions, and that's definitely here to stay. But we're just trying to bring the changes up a little bit, more experienced travelers.
Now, we're previewing all this and it's now going to be when this goes out, it's all going to be bookable. But what are
Mm.
some of the savings that travel advisors clients can get by booking this now? And there is a deadline, I believe, for those savings, right?
Yeah, there's a 2 week window when we open for some of the savings, but we are offering a multiple. If people want to book multiple cruises, we're offering a 5% saving. So they book one within the new season launch, and then they can get a 5% saving on a second voyage or a third voyage. So we do find that particularly our regulars will book multiple cruises. So we're trying to encourage more business at the same time as we open. And then there's some, the usual savings, the regular savings that we make. But,
Sure.
I think, to be honest with you, new season launch is less about savings. It's more about what people want to do and want to book,
Mm,
and they're getting the best choice to do that as early as possible. And that's why I would say for our travel partners, this is a really, really important time of year because
sure.
you're getting premium business and you're getting it early, and you're locking people in. So I encourage travel agents to look at this and get a base of business on the books early for 26 and 27.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question is, what should travel advisors do with all this great stuff right now? You got that they should be getting in touch with their clients and reminding them that this is out there right now, right?
Yes, well, I mean, this we heavily support the trade. There's a trade toolkit for this available in our travel agent center. We're obviously working very closely with our partners to make sure that they're fully equipped with all the information. We've had we've been doing training. There's been a webinar. We're trying to gear our partners up because this is a time of year when we go on sale that we spend money ourselves in the public domain to promote the new season. So there's a lot of advantage that can be gained from also going side by side with this into the period as well, and making sure that bookings are captured. So yeah, it's an important time of year, and we always invest heavily in it in all of our marketing activity. And there are great tools for the trade to use that are available on demand.
Fantastic. Now, is there anything else? We talked a lot about these new itineraries. Anything else you want to tell our 125,000 travel advisors out there, many of whom are going to be booking Regent?
Well, I think that probably the biggest message, and we say it over and over and over again, is the value that these travel opportunities represent. We are the most inclusive of cruise lines.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the value for money that the traveler gets when they book these trips, and commission is paid on all of that to the travel agent. So it's a one-stop shop, and I think we offer the trade huge support, and so don't miss the opportunity of getting this early base of business for 26 and 27. I think that's critical. Let's not forget the shorter stuff. There's still some 24, although we're pretty well done on that. But 25 is also our focus at the same time as going on sale with this launch. So, it's sort of opportunities for the next 3 years. And sometimes we all concentrate too much on the now, but we have to really think about what's ahead. And
Sure.
luxury travelers will spend for the right value and the right destinations and the right kind of products. So I think there's a huge opportunity.
Absolutely. Now, where can travel advisors go again to get more information about these itineraries and also Regent overall, and also obviously your travel advisor programs?
Yeah, so well, the one-stop shop is rssc.com. Of course, you'll find all the information there. All the current, all the new itineraries are featured in the landing page there. A lot of information. We're also doing obviously supporting our trade partners with all the materials, but that back it up. There's a digital brochure. There's hard copy brochures now available. So there's a lot of support to get this information. You can request a brochure online. But I would say the best one-stop shop is the website because everything is there, all the details, all the itineraries, all the promotions, savings, and so on.
Fantastic. Well, Steve, I feel like I'm previewing Broadway 2 years in advance here with all the new shows and in this case, all the new itineraries and everything else you're going to be doing on your wonderful ships. And it's great to know, sort of scope out and you, all our travel advisors out there can scope out the right client now for all of these different wonderful trips. And I want to thank you for taking the time to tell us all about them. And I know you and I will see each other very soon.
I'll see you in Vegas. Look
Absolutely.
forward,
That's one of the one
look
or
forward
many
to it.
other places. I think this fall is a
I'm
busy
sure.
time, as we know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Steve, again, thank you so much. And I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.